Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're so glad to have you here with us today. You know, as someone who's built a career on talking to people, I've had countless conversations over the years. You might be surprised to hear me say this, but I actually get why some people just aren't fans of small talk. It's not always easy to engage in those surface-level conversations. It can feel pointless, superficial, even a little awkward sometimes, right? We've all been there, standing around trying to think of something to say. But here's the thing, avoiding small talk isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it can be quite refreshing to skip the chit-chat and dive into more meaningful conversations. In fact, it can actually be a sign of some pretty awesome personality traits. People who avoid small talk often have a lot to offer in terms of depth and insight. Today, we're diving into the different types of people who often steer clear of small talk and why their reasons might surprise you. There's a lot more to it than just being shy or reserved. We'll be breaking down 10 distinct silent types, from the deep thinkers to the introverts, and exploring what makes them tick. The busy professionals to the highly sensitive individuals, each has their own unique reasons for avoiding small talk. We'll explore the psychology behind their aversion to small talk and uncover the unique strengths that come with their communication style. It's fascinating to see how these traits manifest in different ways. So if you've ever felt like you were the only one who'd rather skip the small talk and get straight to the good stuff, stick around. You're in good company. You're definitely not alone, and you might just discover a thing or two about yourself along the way. Let's get started. This journey into the minds of the silent types is going to be eye-opening. First up, we've got the deep thinkers. Now, these are the folks who crave substance in their interactions. They'd rather discuss philosophy, ponder the mysteries of the universe, or dissect the latest scientific breakthrough than talk about the weather. For deep thinkers, small talk feels shallow, meaningless, even a little frustrating. They see it as a barrier to genuine connection, a way of filling the silence without actually saying anything of value. They genuinely want to understand the world around them and the people in it, and that requires going beyond the surface level. Think about it. Have you ever had a conversation that started with something totally mundane like, "Wow, traffic was rough today," but then spiraled into a deep discussion about city planning, the environment, or even the future of transportation? That's the magic a deep thinker can bring to the table. They're the ones asking the why behind everything, challenging assumptions and pushing you to think critically. They might not be the life of the party, but trust me, a conversation with a deep thinker is a conversation you'll remember. Now let's talk about introverts. This is a group that often gets misunderstood when it comes to small talk. See, unlike some of the other types we'll discuss, introverts aren't necessarily opposed to small talk itself. It's more about how it makes them feel drained. For introverts, social interaction, even the most casual kind, requires a certain amount of energy. It's not that they dislike people, it's just that they're more energized by spending time in their own thoughts, exploring their inner world and recharging their batteries in solitude. Small talk, with its rapid-fire questions and expectations of constant engagement, can feel like an assault on their senses. It can be overwhelming and exhausting, leaving them feeling depleted and socially hungover. Think of it like this. Imagine having a limited amount of energy to spend each day. Would you rather spend it on surface-level chit-chat or save it for deeper, more meaningful connections? For introverts, the choice is clear. The busy professional. These are the folks who are constantly on the go, juggling meetings, deadlines, and a million other things. They're the CEOs, the entrepreneurs, the people who are always hustling. And you know what? They don't have time for small talk. I mean, think about it. When you've got a packed schedule and every minute counts, the last thing you want to do is waste time talking about the weather or what you had for breakfast. These individuals are laser-focused on their goals, and small talk just doesn't fit into the equation. For them, time is literally money. And just like they wouldn't throw their money away on something frivolous, they're not going to waste their precious time on meaningless chatter. They'd rather be using that time to get ahead, to close deals, to build their empires. So if you encounter a busy professional who seems a little short on small talk, don't take it personally. It's not that they're rude or unfriendly, they just understand the value of time and they choose to spend it wisely. Next up, we have the empaths. These are the folks who have this incredible ability to tune into other people's emotions. They can walk into a room and instantly sense the energy, the vibes, the underlying currents of emotion. And you know what? Small talk feels incredibly superficial to them. It's like trying to have a deep and meaningful conversation in a room full of people wearing masks. They can sense the disconnect, the lack of authenticity, and it can be incredibly draining. They'd rather connect on a deeper level to talk about things that truly matter. They crave authenticity, vulnerability, and genuine connection. They want to know what makes you tick, what keeps you up at night, what brings you joy. So if you're ever making small talk with an empath and they seem a little distant or withdrawn, it's not you, it's them. They're just not wired for superficial chit-chat. They need more substance, more depth, more heart. Now, let's talk about the intellectuals. These are the folks who are constantly seeking knowledge, always looking for new ideas and perspectives to challenge their minds. They're the ones reading books on quantum physics in their spare time and listening to podcasts about ancient philosophy while they work out. For them, small talk is like eating plain white rice for every meal. It's just not stimulating enough for their hungry minds. They crave intellectual stimulation, complex ideas, and thought-provoking conversations. They'd rather discuss the latest scientific breakthrough, debate the merits of existentialism, or analyze the symbolism in their favorite novel. They thrive on intellectual discourse and find it incredibly enriching. So, if you find yourself struggling to make small talk with an intellectual, don't feel discouraged. It's not that they're trying to be pretentious or superior, they're just wired differently. They approach conversations like a game of mental chess, always looking for a worthy opponent. Alright, so you've met someone who just seems to ooze creativity, but they don't really do small talk. Maybe they're an artist, a musician, a writer. Whatever it is, their mind is always buzzing with ideas. And let me tell you, for these folks, small talk can feel like a creativity killer. It's like trying to write a symphony while someone's tapping you on the shoulder every 5 seconds asking about the weather. See, creatives often thrive on unstructured time and space for their ideas to breathe and develop. They need that mental freedom to connect seemingly unrelated dots and let their imaginations run wild. Small talk, with its focus on the mundane and predictable, can feel like a roadblock to that creative flow. It's not that they're trying to be rude or aloof, it's just that their minds are already 5 steps ahead, piecing together the next masterpiece in their heads. And honestly, who are we to interrupt that? Independent thinkers. These are the individuals who march to the beat of their own drum, often finding themselves on paths less traveled. These are the people who forge their own paths, question everything, and aren't afraid to stand out from the crowd. They thrive on curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge, always seeking to understand the deeper meaning behind things. They're the ones who see the world a little differently and aren't afraid to challenge the status quo. Their unique perspectives often lead to innovative ideas and groundbreaking discoveries. Now, you might think that these free spirits would be all about small talk, right? After all, it's a way to connect with others and build relationships. But here's the thing. For independent thinkers, authenticity is key. They value genuine connection and meaningful conversations over superficial pleasantries. To them, small talk can feel like a charade, a way of conforming to societal expectations rather than expressing their true selves. They crave depth and substance in their interactions. They value genuine connection and meaningful conversations over superficial pleasantries. They seek out discussions that challenge their minds and expand their horizons. To them, small talk can feel like a charade, a way of conforming to societal expectations rather than expressing their true selves. It's not that they're trying to be difficult or unfriendly, it's just that they'd rather cut to the chase and engage in conversations that matter. It's not that they're trying to be difficult or unfriendly, it's just that they'd rather cut to the chase and engage in conversations that matter. They'd rather talk about ideas, philosophies, or their latest passion project than the weather or what they had for breakfast. They'd rather talk about ideas, philosophies, or their latest passion project than the weather or what they had for breakfast. So if you find yourself struggling to make small talk with an independent thinker, don't take it personally. So if you find yourself struggling to make small talk with an independent thinker, don't take it personally. Instead, try engaging them in a conversation that sparks their curiosity and allows them to share their unique perspective. Instead, try engaging them in a conversation that sparks their curiosity and allows them to share their unique perspective. You'll find that once you tap into their interests, the conversation will flow naturally and become much more rewarding for both of you. Now let's talk about highly sensitive people, or HSPs as they're often called. These individuals have a unique way of experiencing the world, one that is both profound and intricate. These are the folks who experience the world with incredible depth and intensity. They notice the little things that often go unnoticed by others, like the subtle rustling of leaves or the faintest hint of a smile. They're highly attuned to their surroundings, picking up on subtle cues and emotions that others might miss entirely. This heightened awareness allows them to connect deeply with the environment and the people around them. And while this sensitivity is a beautiful thing, it also means that HSPs can easily become overwhelmed, especially in social situations. The constant barrage of stimuli can be exhausting. Imagine walking into a crowded room where everyone's talking over each other, music's blaring, and the air is thick with a mix of perfumes and aftershave. For most people, this might be just another lively gathering. For an HSP, that's not just a party, it's a full-on sensory overload. The noise, the smells, the sheer number of people, it can all become too much to handle. And in those moments, the last thing they need is to be bombarded with meaningless small talk. They crave meaningful connections and genuine interactions. It's like trying to have a whispered conversation in the middle of a hurricane. It's just not going to happen. The chaos around them drowns out any chance of real communication. Instead of trying to force a conversation, give them the space they need to decompress and process their surroundings. A little bit of quiet can go a long way. Once they've had a chance to recharge, you'll find that HSPs are some of the most insightful and compassionate people you'll ever meet. Their depth of feeling and understanding is truly remarkable. All right, let's talk about minimalists. You know, those people who are all about simplifying their lives? Well, that philosophy extends to their conversations too. For minimalists, small talk just doesn't make the cut. It's clutter, plain and simple. Think about it. Minimalists are all about intentionality. They carefully curate their possessions, their commitments, even their thoughts. So it makes sense that they'd apply that same principle to their words. Why waste time on superficial chatter when you can get straight to the heart of the matter? For a minimalist, every word has a purpose. They'd rather have a few meaningful conversations than a dozen shallow ones. It's about quality over quantity, depth over breadth, and hey, there's something to be said for that kind of clarity. In a world that's constantly bombarding us with information and noise, minimalists remind us of the power of silence and intention. Now, let's talk about the reflective types, those who spend a good chunk of their time in their own heads. These are the deep thinkers, the ones who are constantly analyzing, processing, and making connections. For them, small talk can feel like an interruption, a distraction from their internal world. Imagine this. You're walking down the street, lost in thought about a complex problem or a creative project. Suddenly someone strikes up a conversation about the weather. It's not that you're trying to be rude, but it's hard to switch gears so abruptly. Your mind is already miles away, exploring different ideas and possibilities. That's the thing about reflective people. They thrive on solitude and introspection. They need that space to process their thoughts and feelings, to make sense of the world around them. Small talk, on the other hand, can feel superficial and draining, pulling them away from their inner sanctuary. It's like trying to have a deep conversation in a crowded room. The noise and distractions make it nearly impossible to focus on the words being spoken. So there you have it, folks. These are just 10 types of people who might avoid small talk, and honestly, they make some pretty good points. It's not always about being anti-social or awkward. Sometimes it's about valuing authenticity, intentionality, and the power of a truly meaningful conversation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more content like this. And hey, let me know in the comments, what type of conversationalist are you? Are you a small talk enthusiast, or do you prefer to keep it real? See you in the next video.